The day was running its course like any usual Wednesday. As the clock turned 9:30 p.m., the entire city froze. Two terrorists entered the Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus and killed thousands of citizens. The Taj Mahal Palace Hotel in Colaba began to go up in smoke. After 3 days of intense conflict, by 29th of November, the place had been sanitized and the battle was won. This entire incident was unexpected and shook the entire country. Similarly, in next few months, a similar thing happened when Satyam Scandal was revealed and the entire nation was shook. Well, you will see a lot of videos talking about the entire Satyam Scandal, but there's no video which will talk about the 100-day story which revived the entire entity. Special thanks to T.N. Manoharan sir for writing this amazing book called as The Tech Phoenix, in which he has explained his entire experience of reviving the Satyam Scandal in a span of just 100 days. If you want to read the detailed version, click on the link given in the description box and you can order your copies right now. But if you want to watch a shorter version of the same, do watch this entire video. Ramalinga Raju, the founder of Satyam, sends an email to SEBI that he has committed a fraud of rupees 6,000 crores, which was equivalent to $1 billion during that time, if dollar rate was to be considered. He confesses in the email about all the fraudulent transactions. You can pause the video and have a look at the entire email sent by him to SEBI and the stock exchanges. The entire industry was taken aback. In fact, Anand Mahindra himself had mentioned that he was shook when he read this news about the Satyam scandal. The reputation of Indian economy was at stake. The question of India's future was at stake. The potential investment opportunities in India were at stake. The situation was so bad that the employees of Satyam in Frankfurt, Germany were getting calls from their hotel rooms where the receptionist was requesting them to vacate the room or make alternative payments arrangements. A receptionist said, "Kindly make alternative payment arrangements or you'll have to check out by noon. Your credit card has been deactivated." The employee was shocked and he asked, "But why? What has happened?" And the receptionist replied, "Sir, switch on CNN IB and you'll have all the details." And when the employee switched on the news, they were dismantled themselves because they were working in a multinational company having 51,000 employees operating in more than 66 countries with $1 billion in revenue. Well, in history, frauds had either been detected or whistleblown. Whistleblown means that some other person has told about the fraud. But for the first time in history, a fraud was confessed by the fraudster himself. 1 year ago, in Jan 2008, Satyam was trading at rupees 541 per share. On 6th January 2009, it was trading at rupees 178.20. On 9th January 2009, the share traded at rupees 6.50 on the National Stock Exchange. India was angry, very, very angry. Let's hear the story of the next 100 dramatic days. Ministry of Corporate Affairs Secretary Anurag Goel, IAS, began making phone calls. Mr. Goel was straight enough and directly came to the point, stating, "Sir, the government wants you to be part of the new board of Satyam." And this is how the 6 board of directors of the new entity were formed, namely Deepak Parekh, C. Achyutan, Kiran Karnik, Tarun Das, T.N. Manoharan and S. Balakrishna Menak. In fact, the situation was extremely worse. When T.N. Manoharan landed to Hyderabad airport where Satyam was headquartered, and when he was on his way to his hotel, the driver asked him, "Sir, can you put in a word to the finance team to clear the dues of my travel agency?" Not only this, when he entered the hotel, the manager politely asked, "The hotel bills are outstanding, sir. Can you as a director do anything about it?" And T.N. Manoharan politely responded to both of them that we will do our best. Because of a huge fraud involved, the new board needed a firm that will do a proper forensic investigation and restate the financial accounts from 2001-2002. KPMG and Deloitte were jointly engaged to do the needful. The entire board was so kind to not even take any sitting fees as being the directors. Deepak Parekh said, "We are doing this pro bono. as his voice echoed in the boardroom. Basically, the board had to do 3 things in order to revive the entire entity. Number 1, restore the fiscal sanity of the company. Number 2, ensure that customers were assured of continuity services and smooth delivery of services. Number 3, engage with employees of Satyam to motivate them to join hands with the new board. In fact, one of the journalists from Hindu Business Line called TN Manoharan and asked him, "Sir, this being an interim arrangement by the government, your board position is temporary. What can you do?" And TN Manoharan responded with all humility, "We are all temporary in this world, but we can build permanent institutions. We can imbibe values that last for generations to follow and practice principles that would be eternal. Maybe we are mortals, but these are not." This is extremely inspiring for the entire Indian ecosystem and youths like us in order to gain inspiration from people like them. Usually, the contracts are long-term in nature in the IT industry, and Satyam had already lost 20% of its existing clients because of the news. On a Sunday evening, senior employees of Satyam sent an urgent email to the new board stating that one of the biggest insurance customer was thinking to transition work to other vendors. This would result in business loss of $100 million annually and will impact 1,000 employees in the company. Moreover, there were 2 other large customers, one insurance major and another beverage major, who were thinking to transition too. This would have lost another $100 million. Well, the rescue now begins. First step, the board requested Deepak Parekh to identify lenders so that the company can meet operational expenses. Because of his reputation in the industry, he could easily get a credit of rupees 300 crores from IDBI Bank and Bank of Baroda. Of course, the high-tech city property of Satyam was mortgaged in order to get this loan. Parallelly, it was very important to speak to the customers to boost their confidence. Kiran and Tarun spoke to customers such as GSK, Cisco, Coke on the entire revival plan. During a subsequent discussion, it was brought to the notice of the board that since Satyam was also listed in US markets, there was a requirement that a whole-time director and CEO should be filled in within 15 days of the vacancy arising. Deepak Parekh asked TN Manoharan, "Since you have decided to spend full time on Satyam, why don't you become the full-time director?" And the next day, TN Manoharan responded, "I will do the job of a whole-time director but without the designation." Well, he did not want the media spotlight to shift on him, as he did not want any distraction for the next 100 days of his life. TN Manoharan had to attend an international conference in Bahrain which he had already committed, and therefore during this trip he decided to visit 2 customers of Satyam in Bahrain to understand their problems. One of the CEOs in fact was so angry and blasted that, "Forget about it, it doesn't matter if the Indian government is backing or not, I can't continue with Satyam." However, after looking at the quick measures taken to solve all the operational issues in the next 24 hours, the customer was saved from being lost. There were 3 things to be done now: motivating employees, retaining customers and restoring financial stability. Motivating the employees was going to be tough. They had parked their savings in the employee stock options plan at a market price ranging from rupees 200 to rupees 300 per share. Suddenly they found out that the share price hit rupees 8 and was just hovering around rupees 20. Therefore, each week team leaders across the globe connected to the headquarters and some of the board members joined the call to communicate the situation was improving. Every evening the board sent out an electronic news bulletin to all associates under the title News Today. They shared about the positive news that kept happening, infusing confidence into them and encouraging them to put extra efforts in these challenging times. The board also recorded video messages and played at various locations worldwide through YouTube. If someone wanted to resign, the board would talk to them personally and convince not to in case they thought this employee is an asset to the organization. Satyam operated in 66 different countries. Talking to various customers day in and day out would not have been easy. On a lighter note, the government had not put them on the hot seat but had put them on fire, and like hard metals, their melting point was beyond the heat this fire can generate. In fact, the board boosted the confidence in almost every customer of Satyam, stating that the operations won't stop. Nestle deputed 3 of its top executives, as it was also a client of Satyam, on 25th March 2009. And guess what? An icing on the cake, the CEO of Nestle stated that if any client has questions about your company's ability to service, connect them to us. We can share our amazing experience with them. Finally, once the above 2 were resolved, that is retaining customers and motivating employees, it was now time to find the potential investor who can buy the company. In this case, the board has to invite entries for the auction process, and they received a whopping 141 entries. After eliminating the fake entries and the ones who just applied for the heck of it, there were finally 10 bidders remaining in the process. Since few of these bidders did not submit the documents on time, there were only 3 bidders remaining in the process: L&T, Tech Mahindra and WL Ross and Company. There were mixed emotions rolling all over. What if the bidders don't turn up? What if the price is lower than they had expected? What if the toil of the previous 97 days goes into vain? After a mixture of emotions, everyone entered the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel in the morning at 9:15 AM. The first bid was by chairman of L&T Anil Naik. They already held a 12% stake in Satyam. The company signed the envelope and submitted the bid. Next bid was by Tech Mahindra at 9:25 AM. They participated in the bid through its wholly owned subsidiary Venture Bay Consultants Private Limited. After signing, Tech Mahindra formally presented the bid to the chairman. WL Ross and Company, India Asset Recovery Fund, usually buys distressed companies and turns them around. They also submitted the bid at 9:55 AM. The board opened the bids between 10:15 AM and 11 AM. Justice Bharucha picked L&T's cover and announced the share price. Basically, the board were expecting the bidding price to range anywhere between rupees 45 to rupees 70 per share. And Justice Bharucha read, it's rupees 45.9 per share. There was a sigh of relief for the board. Justice Bharucha read the next number by Tech Mahindra. He announced rupees 58 and everyone was ecstatic. This was 33% above the average price since 7th Jan 2009. WL Ross and Company had placed a bid of rupees 20. So there was a clear winner. The winner was Tech Mahindra. 1 year ago, Satyam traded at rupees 542 a share and now Tech Mahindra bought them for rupees 58 per share. Well, instead of assuming the purchase came at 1/10 of the value, let's believe the Satyam share once quoted 10 times its current value based on the inflated results. What are some of the lessons which we can learn from this entire story? Number 1. In life's books of accounts, you don't have contra entries. One credit doesn't compensate for a debit. A negative multiplied by positive is still negative. A 0 multiplied by a significant number is still 0. Just as a drop of poison spoils the purity of an entire pot of milk, a single misdeed is enough to destroy goodwill built over a lifetime. And this is what exactly happened with Ramalinga Raju in the Satyam Scandal. Number 2. Always expect the unexpected. Some people succeed because they are destined to succeed, but many succeed because they are determined to succeed. The former, destiny, is not in our hands, but the latter, determination, is very much in our control. Cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar scored his 99th century on 12th March 2011. After that, in every innings he played, he wanted to hit his 100th 100 and his fans worldwide were wanting to celebrate. But it took the champion batsman 370 days and 34 innings to create history. On 16th March 2012, he scored the elusive 100-ton in Dhaka against Bangladesh. If the man revered as the god of cricket had a 34-inning wait, we can't expect a cakewalk in our endeavors. Therefore, patience is the key to success. And number 3, ability takes you to the top, but you need integrity to stay there. Who would have imagined that a 33-year-old Raju could promote, nurture and grow a company with world-class infrastructure manned by 51,000 employees spread across 66 countries? He could reach to the top only due to his vision and sheer dedication. However, he compromised on his ethics and principles which did not allow people to remember his good deeds. Have integrity. No one gets lost on a straight road. So special thanks to TN Manoharan sir for letting me make this video of summarizing his entire book, and I think after meeting him at the Taj Hotel itself, I have gained a lot of inspiration, and we as individuals need to gain a lot of inspiration from him as a person. Well, India needs more people named Shri TN Manoharan, but as of now, there is only one.